Hello.
Hi, everyone.
I mean, hello.
Arr.
Hi.
Welcome to our Halloween virtual write-in. Ooh. But the real scary thing is that for some people watching, it's probably November 1st, and they're like actually writing.
What's even scarier?
Scary / really exciting.
Yeah.
So, hello.
Hey.
We're really pumped to, one, be wearing our costumes.
So excited.
And maybe we can introduce who we are in a second. And two, just really excited to be here for this last, let's hurry up and get, our brains in motion before NaNoWriMo starts. For some of you right now, for some of us tomorrow.
Yeah.
I am Mariah / the Bride of Frankenstein. And I'm the Young Writers Program Director at NaNoWriMo.
I'm Catherine. I'm the Communications Manager at NaNoWriMo, and I am a pirate, I suppose.
And I'm Nick. I am the editorial intern back in business. And this year for Halloween, I'm a writer's block.
We should have had a sound effect that's like, womp, womp.
Yeah. So I didn't come unprepared, FYI.
Cool.
Yeah.
Who wants to kick us off? Oh, so we're at a virtual write-in. Mm-hmm. If you're here, you probably have at least an idea of what this is. So I like to think of a virtual write-in as a chance for you to take an hour out of whatever your normal day looks like to really focus on your creativity. So maybe that means you're planning for your novel tomorrow. Maybe that means you're writing in your journal. Maybe that means you're following along with our prompts. But it's just an hour to hang out with super creative people and dive into that creative part of yourself.
Yeah, and if you're new, if this is your first time joining a virtual write-in, welcome. Mm-hmm. We always, I don't know, I feel like we always have somebody who comes in halfway through and is like, why are there people just sitting writing? But it's great. It's a lot of fun. People are super helpful in the chat. Should we dive into things?
Yeah.
I feel like my brain is scattered in 50 different places today. So it's good that we're doing this so I can get everything down.
Well, what else on Nano Eve?
It's true. And my birthday eve.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Happy almost birthday.
Yeah. My birthday actually is November 1st, so it's kind of like, woohoo, Nano's starting, and also my birthday.
Okay. So we're going to try to do 3 prompts and 3 sprints. So we'll give you a prompt. If it works for you, you can do it. If it doesn't work for you, you can ignore it and just work on whatever you're working on. This is your time. And
if you're not familiar with word sprints, that's basically just writing as much as you can in the given time. It'll be usually 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. And then the first one, maybe who wants to explain that one?
Well, in honor of it being Halloween, we're kind of in a spooky mood. So for this kind of, I can put it in there, it's fine. For this first word sprint, just to kind of get the cobwebs off, also on theme. The sprint is going to be use the word eerie, meaning spooky, not like the lake.
Good.
Yeah, you could do that too, in your word sprint. So whatever you want to write about, just try and use the word eerie. And I will set my timer. Starting right.
I'm not ready.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Oh no.
It's me. I just have to load in my dog real fast. I wasn't prepared. I was too busy pinning my head.
Starting in a few moments.
Okay.
All right, 5 minutes.
I'm ready.
Using the word eerie.
Ready? And start. I'm going to wait to put it in. That's okay. I set it for 50 seconds instead of 5 minutes, but that's okay. Set it for 4. Oh, yeah.
All right. That time?
That's the timer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just finishing this sentence. So yeah, put your pens down or hands up, however you're writing, and drop in the chat. Let us know if you use that prompt. Maybe share a sentence of how you use that word, or if you want to tell us how many words you got during that sprint. Let us know.
I didn't get too far.
Yeah. How do you guys do?
Well, I was spending some of the time typing in the chat here, but I got about 62. Not too bad.
Nice.
My secret that is, but now it's not a secret because I'm sharing, is that I cannot write when there's anyone around me. Like even my husband knows now in the morning when I'm writing, he's not even supposed to look at me. So I write in bed, which I know is also I like it, works for me. But we have a bathroom in our bedroom, and in the morning he's getting ready, but he has to like leave from the bathroom like with his head down. Because even if he looks at me, I like freeze up and I can't
That's
write.
really funny.
So I was like, trying to write between you two is going. I can't. I wrote
Do you want
literally.
to be on the outside?
No,
We
I
can switch.
really need. I like hearing how other people's process works, and like I just can't write with other people around. I don't know.
All right.
I'm kind of the
Zero.
same.
So my answer is 0.
Well, it looks like some of these people in the chat got did pretty well.
263, pretty good.
Yeah.
283, wow.
Yeah, I got 252 and did use the prompt. Oh, Rush Writes asked if the sprint has to be working on the story or still planning. And the answer is you can do either. Technically, the only words that count toward your 50,000 in November are ones that you write in November. So it'll be different for time zones. So it might already be November where you are. But even if it's not, you can totally start. I don't know. This is just me, but I think you can start writing and then just count words that you write tomorrow.
Yeah.
Should we share real fast? What are you working on from NaNoWriMo?
I am working on a young adult modern day fairy tale retelling of 12 Dancing Princesses, but set in a high school ballet company.
Ooh.
And that's brand new. You're starting.
And that's brand new. I'm starting from scratch. So yeah.
I am working on a novel that I've been working on for like maybe 3 or 4 months, but I'm going to start. Like right now, I have 32,000 words, and so I'm going to try to get to 82,000 words, which is a bit of like a rebel thing to do. I know, but I don't want to. I want to keep doing the thing.
Yeah, totally.
What are you doing?
I am still figuring it out. I think I'm gonna do like kind of a series of like almost short stories, but they're kind of interconnected. But there's going to be some kind of surreal, kind of off the wall twists, but we'll have to see how it goes. I'm kind of writing it in a weird way. Like I've kind of plotted out a bunch of just loose scenes, and then I'm going to draw them from a hat every day.
Whoa!
I may do that. I may
Cool.
plunk out, but we'll see.
Yeah, tell us what you're writing too in the chat. I love
Seen some
your
great
guys'
stuff.
writing ideas.
Yeah.
I also
Go ahead.
Jinx. I just wanted to share some of these sentences from people
That's what I
who
was
use the
gonna say.
prompts. Great minds think alike, apparently. Kat Trockelman said, dark clouds scuttled across a wet sky, lending an eerie feel to the night. It's very fall-y. Although we're in Berkeley, California, so we don't really get real fall here. It's still like 70 degrees and sunny outside. But
I love some people I think didn't maybe use the word eerie, but wrote something that was super eerie. This one did actually, but Amanda crept up the stairs. This is from Dina Marie. Amanda crept up the stairs of Jade's apartment building, holding her breath. The night sounds around her were so eerie, she felt like she was in a horror movie. Dark shadows danced around. Very on point for Halloween too.
nice.
There's a lot of really great ones here.
Yeah.
Whoa, Jose Marino said, let's see how eerie you are when I incinerate you. Which really makes me want to read the rest of that.
And like Choir on Fire, S. McNeil said, I'm just amazed that at 9 a.m. on a Thursday morning, I've managed to write a poem about Halloween based on the prompt eerie. Now I'm weary.
That's great.
Now people are sharing what they wrote,
Yeah.
which is kind of fantastic. A woman in the medieval ages who finds stones that enhance the talents of people.
The door creaked open, enhancing the already eerie atmosphere. I peered through the door, afraid to see darkness staring back. Nice.
Cool. Let's see. Oh, Ellen Gregg is writing a magical rom-com.
Ooh.
I wouldn't read that.
That sounds great.
I would 100% read that.
That's amazing. Oh, cool. Sentient plants on a crazy wild alien planet. That's from Frank Ingram. Oh my gosh, someone whose name is Maya B, which is like my name, if it popped up, would be Mariah B, which is an extra R, so I get to read hers. Writing a novel about a girl that falls into a world where they believe the people who fall are angels. It's kind of like Alice in Wonderland. It's steampunk.
That's cool.
That sounds like a
LOL.
great
It
combination.
does sound really cool.
Um,
Okay, so just warning, like this is the thing that happens to me. So if it's happening to you, sometimes when I hear everyone else's synopses, I'm like, that's better than mine. I quit. So don't let that happen to you because
Yeah.
yours is amazing too. Just when you
Absolutely.
hear someone else's that's just so bright and shiny and new that you think, oh, I want to do that one.
It's very, very true.
Because right now I'm having the feeling like, oh.
Great. You want to move on to the next chunk of this live stream?
Yeah.
So for the first kind of topic of discussion, we've been asking this a little bit, but like kind of wondering, like, share if you want to share your novel's title or your main character's name, kind of as a start, because I don't know, everyone does it differently, but I guess some people, for a lot of people, it's probably start with the title or with the character. But yeah, kind of, I guess what we're talking about now is how do you start a story? What are some tips you have for beginning a story, i.e. starting in the middle of the action versus going over backstory? Kind of, it's up to you. But yeah, what are your kind of methods for starting a story? How do you typically start?
I have strong opinions about this. Which is
Please
that,
share.
which
Let
is
us
that it doesn't matter at all because you will go, no matter how beautiful you think the beginning of your story is, you will change it. Like you will change it 10 times before it's how you need it. And you should change it, after you finish the whole thing so you know where a good point is to start. So for me, I think a good place to start is like either the thing that like inspired you about the story. So like the first very strong glimpse of character or vision that you got is a nice place to start. Or I got good advice once, which was like tell the story in the easiest way possible in the first draft. So rather than trying to like, unless you're very good at plotting, rather than trying to be like working all these things perfectly, just do it as easy as you can. And if that's starting from the moment they're born, fine. Like you can edit however you want to later. So
yeah, I guess what I've found to be true more than anything is like it doesn't matter how you start it as long as you start it and continue it after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just seeing in the chat, Taylor G says, I always title after everything is written, which is kind of like goes along with what you said.
Me too.
I also just want to say, Danielle Quick, their title is The Queen's Prophecy, and my main character's name is Kit, which is also my nickname. So like I'm really happy about that.
This is LK says I write everything that comes into my head and then go back and edit. I think that's very like one, it's like how that's the NaNoWriMo philosophy, but also I think it's a really good way to write.
I realized I'm kind of like I'm a little hung up on character names right now because I realized I have basically 12 main characters and now I have to give them all names. So that's going to be fun.
Would you say that's the hardest part about starting a story? Is it coming up with the names? Or?
For me, it kind of is. Like, that's the part I always struggle with. I don't know.
Here's an interesting thing the Bird of Inferno said, and I've heard this before too. They said, make sure the tone of the story either doesn't change or it changes gradually. But this is the part that I've heard too. You have to fulfill the promises you make at the beginning. So for instance, if your story has a ghost in it, in the first chapter, there should be hints of that, rather than like all of a sudden halfway through the story, it's like this dramatic shift. Of course, like every rule, people can break it in great ways, but I do think that's a good way. Like think about makes your story really special and really makes you like excited about it, and make sure that's there in the beginning. That's a nice place to start.
Yeah, I read a book recently that like it started out with there was like a lot of sort of unexplained stuff going on. And then they never fulfilled that promise. You never figured out what was happening. And so at the end, I was like, wait, but what about that ghost? Like, what actually was that?
I definitely read a novel this past couple months that will remain nameless, but it's a popular one. But it definitely kind of did that. Like I started out like saying like, wow, this is really engaging. And then by the end, it was like, was that ever tied up? Like what happened? But again, kind of, I guess when it comes down to it, it's like the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
Or the starting point. That's the most important thing.
M&L Adventures asked, how do you pick character names? Which I think is a good question. And I'm interested to hear your guys' take on it too. I personally like doing the thing where like character names mean something. So a lot of times I'll like look up what names and mean in different languages or something like that, and like have some sort of like little Easter egg connection there. That's like, ooh, this is, you know, this is like a part of their personality or whatever. Like that can help me narrow it down sometimes. But
yeah, I typically kind of have either one of two ways. Like one is either the kind of quick and easy method of like go to like a name generator website and just kind of piece together ones that sound pretty good. Or go through like behind the name or something. And you know, I tend to like short, almost like planty, like naturey names. Although this time around, all of my characters for this one deliberately have just like ridiculous, like very I don't know, like very overthought names. Yeah. Like
well, that was one of our tips
Yeah.
in another video we made, that if you want to increase your word count, just give your characters very, very long names and use their full name every
Because
time.
if you have a character named like Ruth Ann and it's 2 words, there's like a bonus word for you in November. One thing I like to do that maybe is a little suspect is if I have a person in my head who I'm loosely basing a character on. Like I used to teach middle school, so I have like a wealth of interesting characters to draw on. Sometimes I'll give them a name, their name.
Right.
And then it helps me like kind of keep them like make them a character who pops. And then later on I'm like, oh, I gotta change that name because I'm just so
I've definitely done that before.
Okay, it is suspect though, huh?
Yeah, no, there was definitely a story that I wrote in college, and I forgot that somebody else in my class knew this other person. So when you read it, I was like, oh, whoops,
I have done that before.
Okay.
I was gonna say, when in doubt, though, there's also a Nano forum for.
That's true.
What is it called? Appalachian
Station.
Appalachian Station, not like the mountains, but like appellations, like names. That's very, very useful. I definitely have dug in from there sometimes.
Should we move? Someone asked how long these last. So they usually last about an hour. And we did a 5-minute prompt. This next one, are we going to try to do 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. And I would love to explain the second part just because I think I dropped that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But if you
should I put the whole thing into the?
Just here, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. All right.
Cool. Okay. So for our second one, we were thinking about characters. Sorry, I'm like shooting up.
I can yeah. That's fine.
So we're thinking about characters, and some of you, like I said, I'm in the middle of a project. I've already kind of met my characters, but maybe you're starting brand new tomorrow because that's the traditional NaNoWriMo. You start brand new, 0 words, kind of a plan, and write 50,000. And so our first prompt is about characters. 1, how does the reader first meet each of your characters? How do your characters first meet each other? Write an outline or scene of these characters meeting each other. Or, and this is the part that I added because I think it's really fun and I'm going to try it. You write a screenplay-style introduction for your characters. So if you've ever seen a screenplay, when they're introducing like a brand new character in the script, they have like a little chunk of text where they introduce that character in like 3 sentences, and you get a huge picture of what they're like. So here's an example. Should I do I'll do the Big Lebowski one.
Sure.
I love the Big Lebowski.
Do you want me to do the other one? Or?
We can just maybe do one.
All right,
I think we're out of time. But so here's how they introduce in the script the dude from Big Lebowski. It is late, the supermarket all but deserted. We are tracking in on a 40-ish man in Bermuda shorts and sunglasses at the dairy case. He is the dude. His rumpled look and relaxed manner suggest a man in whom casualness runs deep. And I love that because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 sentences, but I feel like I can picture so much about him right now.
Yeah.
So the prompts are both about characters. One is, did you drop it in? Okay,
Yeah.
so I just said a lot of things. If you want to process it visually, just look at below the video and you can see us writing it.
Yeah, it's in the chat, and it'll also be in the video description.
Cool.
All right, so this one's going to be 10 minutes, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you want me to start?
Oh, how many words does it have to be, says Hayden?
As many as you can write in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's fun to try to practice not going back and editing. It's Nano starts.
All right, ready?
It's about a 20-minute lag or 20-second lag, so I'll start in. Ready and begin.
I'm seeing people drop into the chat like how their characters meet. If you know how they meet, like try out writing the first scene. Actually write that meeting. Maybe you will use them in your NaNoWriMo novel.
Got about 5 minutes left. And that's the time.
Right.
Managed to get a decent amount of stuff.
All right. Yeah. Finish up, wrap up what you're writing, and then when you're ready, drop in the chat. Tell us how many words you wrote. If you use the prompt, share sonnets from what you wrote. Love seeing that.
How many words did you get?
Maybe like 30.
I have no idea because I handwrite. So
I got 182.
nice.
That's pretty good. Yeah. What did you end up writing?
I will not, my new thing is I don't talk about anything I'm writing. Like, and I don't even my husband, I used to share everything, and now my husband has no idea. Like, he's looked at the books that I've gotten for research. So he keeps like asking me, like dropping hints that he
That's
thinks he
nice.
knows. And I'm like, I'm just not going to tell you.
Nice.
I like it. It's my own secret.
Yeah.
So I can't tell you.
I ended up writing. So for this new novel that I want to write, I have like the first line that like I know what it's going to be. I thought that's where the story was going to start, but I wrote kind of a prologue, which I'm really happy about. Actually, I think it's going to like help set things up. So yeah, that helped me a lot.
I wrote a scene kind of in which just one kind of secondary character enters the room, and I guess what I'm finding already is that the story is going to have a lot of just instances where like things are deliberately just kind of out there, or like more just described in an I don't know, physically impossible way. I don't know. I'm just kind of trying new things with this one and just kind of going along for the ride.
Some people really wrote some really short but kind of powerful character introductions. I just lost the one that I just found.
Which one was it?
Oh, Knight of Halo. He has the eyes of a gunslinger, always searching, watching, waiting for action. Its scent always on the tip of his tongue, the hair trigger before the shutter closes.
Love that. I like this one. Middle-aged simmer said, "Ash, this is your new sister," Sebastian said in a whisper. "You need to be quiet. Mama is sleeping." Ash looked down at the tiny wrinkled thing in the blanket. She hissed like a cat and drew back. I want to know what's going on there.
I like this one. Hannah Crenshaw says, "Above the noise, Skylar heard the faintest whistle from the origami bird." "Your birds are alive?" she asked. Ember seemed to see her for the first time. $1 apiece. She smiled softly.
Ooh, nice.
Interesting kind of sound.
There's so much.
I love this.
Yeah, there's so many things here.
Nick Cartier-Foreman says, does anyone type faster when they listen to fast-paced music? I've never tried this before.
I like to think I do,
Maybe I
but
should.
usually not. No.
Do you guys listen to music when you write?
Usually I do. Depends on kind of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I find when I'm like outlining, kind of like really getting into it, I will like listen to a specific soundtrack to kind of like get myself in that space. But actually, when I write, I usually put on like rain sounds or like train sounds or something,
nice.
Something to drown out everything else.
Who's this person? Oh, Dina Marie says she quickly turned and headed in the opposite direction. Inside, she was as jittery as a cat on a roof. Calm down, Amanda. You are in a public building. He's not going to hurt you. So I feel like that's maybe after a meeting that didn't go so well. Or it's really pretty tense. I love that.
Yeah. So people are writing so much.
Yeah.
Annie Martin got exactly 400 words. Lori Chan got 907 words.
Give me some of those words. Patricia says, the mist retreated inside a container and Andrew was quick to break the lock and rush in. He shone his light inside and from the spot where a faint sound came, the silhouette of a woman formed.
Mm-hmm.
That I can see like a movie, like how someone would start, how you would meet a character in the movie.
Yeah. That's great.
Okay.
Jex30 says, the man's face was covered in lumps from the nose down, the warty mass split by a crooked mouth.
Ooh.
That sounds like a great like Halloween mask.
Yeah, like a goblin or something.
Yeah. Yeah. H.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Gotta cover it a little. We can ask that.
Sure.
No.
It's hard to find prompts that fit for everyone, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got 20 minutes left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We want to spend 10 minutes writing so that we can get some words done, for sure. Especially for those people who are already in NaNoWriMo time zones.
Yeah.
What about like the start of NaNoWriMo? Like, are you doing anything special? Like, do you have a ritual that you kind of
I
follow?
love that question.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan? Because I know some people are like wait till midnight or whatever. Like, yeah, what's your plan for the beginning of NaNoWriMo, or what have you done if it's already November where you are?
Do you guys have a plan?
Usually I will stay up until midnight, but I gotta say this year I have not slept very well the last few nights, and I need to just like recover so I don't get sick. So I may end up waiting till tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Patricia says, I write double the words on the first day. That I know people who do that, who like know that their like energy kind of, it's harder to write kind of later in the month, so they'll try to write a bunch of words in the beginning. That's interesting.
Oh, I also see some people are asking questions, like logistical questions. So somebody asked if they can write on Wattpad. You can write on whatever platform you want. You'll have to enter your word count into the NaNoWriMo site manually, though. I think Dabble does it automatically, but I don't know if any others do. So yeah, that's another important thing. If you haven't already like announced your novel on the NaNoWriMo site, go and do that, because that way the word counter won't appear until it's November in your time zone. So the other thing is make sure that you've set your time zone correctly, because that'll make sure that you're able to start at the right time.
Some people have a ritual of staying up until midnight and writing as soon as the time switches. Some people have somebody gave us an actual ritual. Well, they're all rituals, but Ellen says, light a candle, draw a tarot card to help me focus, take a breath, dive in. And I kind of like that one. I read this book once about how the more you can set rituals for yourself, like the easier habits become. So like every morning I like have a sip of coffee. I turn on the lamp next to my bed. I change my font so that it flips so the back is black and the font is yellow. And then it kind of helps my brain like get into a writing space. So that sounds like a great ritual. Maybe I'll start doing something like that. Someone makes a playlist.
I know last year, like I started at midnight and I kind of like got myself really cozy. Kind of got like some, I think it was Halloween, so I had some extra candy. So I like kind of had some of that ready to go. And I just wrote for a couple hours and then slept in that the next day.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't know. Because I'm going out to see Rocky Horror tonight for Halloween / my birthday. So it'll probably be about midnight by the time I get back. I don't know if I'll be in the writing zone then, but I'll probably do it.
And W Clerk is like speaking my language. They said they have set up a writing space in the room under our stairs, all the Harry Potter with a desk and everything.
Yes.
Like many others, I prefer to be alone when writing. Yeah, I said that
love
earlier.
that.
Dust Flower says, my NaNoWriMo was coffee shop ambiance, the same 2-hour soundtrack to getting every session and a prayer that my words can be filled with truth and beauty.
Oh, and the Bird of Inferno says they're planning to start a new ritual for Nano, reading a poem by Emily Dickinson before I start writing. I've heard that from several author talks recently, and they said similar things. One person said that she listened to the same 5 Dolly Parton songs to get her in a space. Someone else reads an excerpt from a Virginia Woolf novel. She wouldn't tell us the novel because she wanted to keep it magic, like keep it secret and keep it magic. So I think that's really cool too. I was listening to a song. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Also, somebody asked who this fine fellow is. So it's Blobby. If you don't know Blobby, he's kind of our mascot. And yes, that is a portrait of him up on the other side.
Right.
It's fancy Blobby up there. But yeah, he's here. He's here to cheer you on.
Okay. Should we do five more minutes of writing, and then we have 5 minutes to share at the end?
10 minutes.
Maybe we get.
That is what I meant.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
I think the last bit of discussion and then the sprint themselves are kind of the same, so I guess we can just kind of get into that. We've talked a little bit about that.
Yeah.
But we've talked a little bit about kind of how you jumpstart your story as a writer. So what we're asking you to do for this next prompt, the third one and the final one of today's write-in, is what jumpstarts your story, like what event. So write a scene in which your main character responds to the first challenges that they face. Is that clear enough, you think? Or
Yeah. And keep in mind too that if these prompts don't work for you, you don't have to use them. If you want to use a different prompt, you can do that. If you just if you're deep in planning your novel and you're like, I want to use the next 10 minutes to come up with character names, that's totally fine. These are just here in case you need a little extra to get you going.
But I would challenge you to in those 10 minutes, try not to do anything else but that thing you're doing. So don't chat in the YouTube chat or don't check your phone, but really just spend those 10 minutes during whatever, to just focus on being creative. That was also a reminder to me.
Yeah. Okay. And if another a previous prompt worked really well for you, you can just keep continuing on that, whatever you're doing. So.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Get ready to start.
So it's 10 minutes.
10 minutes. I will start right now. Got about 5 minutes left. And that's the timer.
All right.
All right. So stop writing for the moment. And let us know how many words did you get down and what did you write about? Anybody wanna start? What did you write about?
I kind of kept going on the last prompts. Actually, I kind of finished that opening prologue scene that I had started. So I'm feeling pretty good about like starting to write where I want to pick up with chapter 1 tomorrow.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think I was just kind of brainstorming a little bit, kind of getting some ideas down about kind of the central events that will kind of kick off the story. Because that's one of the things that has been difficult for me in my very loose planning of the story, kind of on purpose. So yeah, I think I'm on the right track. I think I've got some good stuff to kind of work with.
Awesome. Jex30 says, no real weapon, a battered old body, no idea what this thing is. He couldn't be more useless. I love little bits and pieces that make me think, oh, I want to keep reading this.
I love Amitha Morales said, my character is my extension. I always cry, which I think is great to be like so invested in your story that you get all the feels.
Someone in this chat earlier said that they always end up falling in love with their main character, which is bad because then they don't have anything bad to happen to them, which I totally feel too.
Yeah.
Maybe the story can be about, this kind of conflict between the author and the character.
That's great.
One thing that I always try to think about when I write is like, no, none of these characters should, like, sometimes my main character should really annoy me, because I tend to make them too, like, you make them, I don't know. Sometimes I make them too good, and I want to give them some bad little habits, like have them steal something, or have them snap, or just have them not be perfect.
Yeah, my novel that I finished last year, and I've been working on for a long time. I kind of got to the end and was like, "Oh, my main character is so bland. Like, how do I fix this?" So.
Yeah. Somebody said that they always kill off their main character. I cannot do that.
Duskflower in the chat says, I just moved from California and it's snowing here. It's a shock when my novel takes place in a snowy part of Oregon, so they added snow knowledge. It's very useful. I love that aesthetic. It's very good.
Oh, wow. Colleen Logie has 1,000 words of their daily total already.
Wow.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah.
Lori Chan says, I feel like I have next to no interesting male characters. I just get hung up on my female main characters and I fall in love with them.
I think that's okay.
What I like to think is like,
lots of male characters.
I think that's okay too. Yeah. I think the balance is still, we can all write books with female characters for years and still the balance won't even out yet.
Yeah. Great.
Isabel Emerson got 334 words.
That's awesome.
.pa forever got 297.
Tamara Kid says a K-pop band is running through a building that's being destroyed by a descending craft. I love that image.
Great.
That makes me very excited to read that
That should
novel.
be a K-pop music video.
It probably already is. Yeah. Great.
I have a friend who really loves K-pop and like taught me all the dances and everything. But
oh my God,
it's a lot of fun.
Cool. You want to do the wrap up here, or?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess it's 2:00, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna drop a link just to the NaNoWriMo FAQ in the chat here. So if you have questions about how NaNoWriMo works, if you've never done it before, if you're wondering how to upload your word count, any of that, look at that FAQ page. That should have all of your answers there. If not, you can email us. But yeah, that should make it easy for you to start writing tomorrow.
We actually put up a blog post just a couple days ago. If you have never done NaNoWriMo before, if you've just heard of it, it's called Nano 101. It's just like a very easy kind of guide for people who have no idea what it is and want to get started.
Don't forget also to subscribe to our YouTube channel. There should be a little
smash
icon,
that like button,
like in this little corner here.
It's there.
There? Okay, one of these corners.
Yeah. It's like on the screen. It's right here.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, if you click that, you can subscribe to our channel, and then you'll get a notification whenever we have a new video going up. We have lots of videos that are going to be that are going to be put up during November. We're going to be doing hosting virtual write-ins from here from Nano HQ every week. There are also going to be other people hosting virtual write-ins on our channel. The Word Nerds are hosting one tomorrow. They're really awesome, so you should check that out. We've got YouTube guides who are going to be putting up videos for us. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff.
And if you're wondering, someone asked, when is it the next virtual write-in? So there's a couple ways you can find that out. One is you can subscribe, and then you'll get updates when there's new videos coming up, so that it'll just pop up on your YouTube page. You can also check our events calendar on the NaNoWriMo website, and you'll see, or the YWP website as well. You'll see the events.
And through November, so we're doing this one on Wednesday, but through November we'll be doing them on Thursdays at
Same time, right?
1 p.m. Pacific time. So same time as it started today, just on Thursdays in November.
Yeah. Although on Saturday there's going to be a bunch of write-ins, right?
Saturday is also really exciting. So we're having our big donation day. So if you want to help support the nonprofit that runs NaNoWriMo, that would be the day to do it, because you can donate $25 and get $50 goodies. We're also going to be trying to double up our word counts. If you can't afford to give anything or whatever, you can still write with us, and that's a really great way to participate. So we're going to be doing virtual write-ins then. And actually, what I'm really, really excited about, we're going to be doing a webcast with Marissa Meyer. So if any of you are fans of the Cinder, the Lunar Chronicles books, or Renegades, I think is her other series, but she's going to be live on YouTube with our executive director, Jeanette Faulkner, at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Saturday. So again, that's in our upcoming videos. It's there.
I didn't mean to laugh, but Jose Moreno is really advocating for a Blobby only virtual write-in, where it's just Blobby. The camera turns on and it's just Blobby with a stick of instructions for what to do.
Oh my gosh.
Which would be amazing. Excellent idea.
Really funny.
Just sit behind the couch and just well, actually, I was gonna say, if Blobby's in need of a co-host, I've got my plot bunny.
Plot bunny. Oh, cute.
Yeah. I brought that as a backup costume.
Awesome.
Cool. I think that's kind of it.
Happy Halloween. Happy Now Eve. Thank you for taking time out of your day to write with us.
Don't forget to announce your novel if you haven't.
Yep. Thanks for joining. And like I said, we're gonna be in here a lot. So we'll hopefully see you guys next week or on Saturday. Thanks for writing with us.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep waving until I say okay.